What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down how D1 wide receivers run their routes and some of the things you need to focus on in regards to your route running to play at this level. So I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it can teach you a few new things, but also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to know on a day-to-day basis, but on the more advanced side of things, what you should be doing to improve your route running, your press releases, check out that very first link in the description below for our 4-week wide receiver on-field workout schedule 2.0. So if you already had our version 1, this is the more advanced version, or if you feel like you're more on the advanced side of things at the wide receiver position, this is a perfect daily training schedule with sets and reps for you. So check out that very first link below if interested, fellas. Let's get started. So first route we're looking at here, this is Pitt wide receiver transfer Jordan Addison, and he's running a slugo, right? So let's play this thing full speed and let's talk about what he emphasizes. So I think the main thing when it comes to route running, especially guys at the next level, especially if you're a guy who maybe isn't that freak 6'5" wide receiver, a guy who runs a 4.3 40 or 4.4 40, you got to emphasize the details. The little things about route running are not little. They actually make a big difference. So when we're looking at this example here of a slugo, when you're running a slugo and it's like against a man coverage look, where is the DB supposed to be watching? Where are his eyes supposed to be? His eyes are supposed to be on your hips and your body language. A lot of people, when it comes down to a double move, whether that's like an out and up, a slant and go, they talk about the eyes. They say that, oh, your eyes tell lies. You have to look back to the quarterback. That's what gets this DB to crash. But at the end of the day, the DB is not supposed to be looking at your eyes. Yes, your eyes will help. I'm not saying to not look back with your eyes, but there's so much more to that when it comes to running a great double move route. So when you break on this slant, you not only have to maybe look back to the quarterback, but you got to commit your hips and your shoulders. I can't tell you how many times when a wide receiver will break on a slugo or an out and up or whatever it is, and they'll start to run down the angle, but in this case, their left hip, their left shoulder will be facing upfield. They'll almost be rounding into the break. That's a dead giveaway that you're not running a slant, that you're not running an out route on an out and up. You have to fully commit that upper half. Now, another thing that a DB is looking for, if we want a DB to crash and we want him to overcommit on a double move, what do you think we got to do? We got to run hard, because that's the only way he's going to run hard. That's the only way he's going to overreact, is if I'm running fast. So a lot of wide receivers won't do that either. They'll break off of this cut, and then when they break on this slant, they don't gain any ground. They don't actually get down the slant angle. They'll take 3 choppy steps. And when you take choppy steps, that doesn't do anything. So we got to keep speed. We got to commit my body language, and occasionally, or I like it every time. I always try to emphasize the eyes, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is body language and speed. So I showed this to showcase to you guys how D1 level wide receivers, this guy's playing at USC right now, probably one of the best wide receivers in college football this year. D1 wide receivers do those little details, and that's what you have to do to play at any level of college football, especially if you don't fit the eye test mold that everybody loves to talk about. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. That's a great job by Addison, selling that slant, getting his feet down that angle, running down that angle, and then adjusting to the underthrown ball. All right, so we're looking at this bottom wide receiver right here. This is a wide receiver at LSU. The name is slipping me, but the last name is Boot, I believe, Boutte. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of that. But again, very high-level wide receiver, highly recruited guy out of college, or out of high school, excuse me. And we're going to be talking about how he runs this post route against an inside shade off-man coverage DB. So a lot of times with guys like high-level guys, you know, they think that you got to be the most, or guys who are trying to get to that level, you got to be the most like creative people in the world with your feet. You have to do all this fancy footwork off the line. You got to do like a tempo change on your route, chatter your feet. And yeah, we break those things down. And yeah, we talk about those things. Those are cool tools to add to your game. But sometimes less is more. And sometimes less is more because it keeps timing with your QB. And you have to run efficient routes to be able to play at the next level. Trust me when I say this, college coaches don't want to see the fancy stuff. Can you do the route that we're asking you to do? And can you get separation? And this is a perfect example of that. So let's play at full speed. So this has everything to do with his stem and his ability to sell vertical, okay? So now, when he comes off of here, you see how he's running this post route. Post route against inside shade. I'm going to play it again full speed one more time. He attacks the outside shoulder of the DB, sells the fade, and is able to get that ball quickly on that post route with 2 to 3 steps of separation. How does he actually do that? So when you have a guy, this is a very intelligent route running too right here. Because again, like somebody said that, oh, less is more when they posted this clip. And I think this is pretty much all you can really do in this case. You don't need the fancy stuff. So when you got an inside leverage DB, why is he inside leverage? Trying to protect the inside. right? He's trying to force you to the outside. He's trying to use the sideline as the 12th defender on the field. He's trying to make you run to the outside so he can squeeze you and force you right to that sideline so the QB has no space to throw. He wants to prevent the dig, prevent the post, and all that. So what we need to do as a wide receiver is if I, like a lot of people think that, oh, you want to just attack his leverage. You want to stem him to the inside, right? The fancy stuff. Now you want to stem in certain situations, like maybe if you had an out route or a corner route, you'd want to stem him and then break because that gives you more space. Because when you stem, what is this guy going to do? He's going to keep his leverage to the inside. He's going to do something a DB coach would call a weave. So when you attack his leverage, he's going to keep his leverage. His sole purpose being inside shade is to protect the inside. So I can't do that. If I got to run a post and let's say I attack him, he keeps the leverage, I break, I'm screwing up the spacing of the route because I'm going to end up running into linebackers, or spacing of the play, I should say. 2, he's going to be right on that top of the ball every single time. QB's going to have to throw the ball on like my back hip for it to just not get picked off. So to keep spacing on the route, to keep good timing with the QB, he attacks the outside shoulder of the DB. Now, could the DB have been a little bit more patient right here? Absolutely. He probably could have stayed square a little bit longer and not opened up the gate. But when you got a vertical threat, when you are maybe a bigger guy off the line, a faster guy off the line, it is going to be much easier to get separation because you are always a vertical threat. So if you're running downfield the same way, we talk about the little things with that slugo route. The little details of this post route would be, okay, I'm going to commit my pad level. I'm going to run in full stride. I'm going to run in full speed. If I could do those 3 things, but angle myself at this DB's outside shoulder, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to open up the gate, and then I could put the brakes on and slip underneath. I kept spacing on the play, and I am on time with my QB. That is textbook as to how you would want to run that post against inside leverage coverage. Less is more, fellas. We don't need to be this super creative tempo change, crossover in the middle of the route. Let's keep it simple, and let's keep it efficient. I'm not saying that stuff doesn't work, because we talk about that stuff all the time. But again, if you're trying to play at that next level, sometimes you're going to have coaches who absolutely hate the fancy stuff. Even in high school, they can't stand it. So you've got to be able to run efficient routes if you want to be able to stand out to a college coach. Play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job attacking the outside shoulder and understanding that selling fade in this case, when you have an inside route against inside leverage, is how you guys can create separation. All right, so now last clip here. This is wide receiver out of Texas, and this is a practice clip of him running a dig route. So I believe this is Xavier Worthy is his last name. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure you guys could let me know in the comment section, but he's got a lot of great tape. I suggest checking it out. But this is going to be a dig route here with an inside release, right? So I think one of the things that a lot of people overlook about wide receivers and when it comes to route running is their ability to make things look the same. And I think that is something, if you want to play at that Division I level, you have to do. Especially, if you're the wide receiver type, like maybe a Hunter Renfrow type wide receiver, Jarvis Landry, guys who aren't the fastest. How you get separation is by being a salesman, right? Making your routes, your releases, moves at the top of the route, they all have to look the same. Everything obviously builds off of the fade. We want to make everything look like a fade until it's not. But you can be a little bit more creative with that with your break point. So let's watch this full speed. So he's going to be selling a fake, I call this like a fake throw by, if you will. Some people maybe call this cut something a little bit different because a fake throw by is a little bit more elaborate, I guess, and more emphasized, if you will, but that's essentially what he's trying to do. So maybe a couple times in your offense, let's say, for example, you're coming off the line. I know we can't see the pre-snap look, but let's say this DB's lined up outside shade and you had to run a 10-yard out. So, for example, what you would do is you'd probably threaten him to the outside a little bit, take the inside release, take what he gives you, very similar to the post route that we just talked about. You can't force the route into the DB's leverage. A good disciplined DB will not give up his leverage. So we take the inside release here. So when I take the inside release, if I'm running that out route, what do you think I would try to do? My goal is to obviously restack, but if I got a DB who's playing me right here, I'm going to take my left hand and swat this DB by. I'm going to swat the back of his arm. I like the back of the shoulder or the hip. So I can do what? So I could slip underneath and get that ball with plenty of space to run to the sideline. They call it a throw-by move. Now, if I'm here and I'm running a dig, I probably want to do something to make it look the same. Maybe I've gotten this DB on this move. Maybe I've done this on film before. DBs are smart, and they're going to be expecting those types of moves. But if I can make 2 separate routes look the same, that makes me very unpredictable. So watch what he does at the break point. He comes here, puts the hand on like he's going to throw by, and gives a little head and shoulder fake to the outside. Now, all we need, especially on a dig with an inside release, is for this DB to hesitate just a split second. Because when he hesitates and maybe he drops his hips and I can get out of this break, I can really widen the distance. Now, again, this could probably get called for maybe a push if he extends with this arm. So be careful of that. Make sure we're not pushing off of this DB to get separation. But putting your hand on him and kind of using his momentum and selling like you're trying to slip underneath and work a throw by is completely legal and will get you separation. So that's another example of making routes look the same, fellas. Now you might ask me, like, how would I make this route look the same if I was able to restack? So like, let's say you were here and this DB's trailing you. You could run an out route with just one single cut to the inside. So you cut off the right foot, then break to the out. Now, how would I run a dig? I could do a right and then left. I could do the rocker step where it's a 1-2 at the break point, sell the out route, then run the dig. Make those routes look the same, fellas. Like I talked about in the very first example, the little things are not little. Little details are not little, like selling vertical, making your routes look the same, being able to sell double moves. That's what makes a Division I route runner or wide receiver. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys as usual. And again, fellas, if you guys would like a 4-week wide receiver advanced workout schedule, all the advanced workouts wide receivers need to do to improve their game and their route running, all the above, check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.